Have a nice day. In this session, we'll see about polymorphism using Python. About polymorphism using Python programming. So the polymorphism means having many forms. So here we'll be having the same function name, but they will have different signatures, and when we call the same function with different data types, signatures are nothing but the data types. So the function will be called depending upon the number or type of the data type. That is called a polymorphism. So first we'll see inbuilt polymorphic functions. So we have a built-in function called len, L-E-N. It is used to find the length. So here the same len function, it is used to find the number of characters in a string, and also the same len function, it is used to find the number of data items in a list. See, for example, print len of Python, the string Python I have given. So it will find the number of characters in the string called Python and it will display it as 6. And I'm using the same len function, and here I'm using a list. The list consists of 3 data items, 10, 20 and 30. So it finds the number of data items in the list, that is 3. So the same function I'm using, but depending upon the signature of the function, it will behave in a different way. So this is called polymorphism. So the same thing can be applied to user defined polymorphic function. So here I have defined a function called add. So this add function is user defined function which I have defined, and I have given 3 parameters x, y and z. And by default I have made this z as 0. So when I pass 2 parameters, it will assign the value of x and y, and the third parameter will be taken as 0. And when I pass 3 parameters, it will assign the value for x, y and z as the values which I have assigned. So in the driver code, I have called the add function and I have passed only 2 values, 2, 3. So when I pass 2 values, 2 and 3, 2 will be assigned to x and 3 will be assigned to y, and z will take 0, and it will find x plus y plus z and it will give the result as 5. And when I pass 3 values 2, 3 and 4 and call the function add, the value of x will be 2, y will be 3 and z will be 4, and it will give the result as 9. And here I am using the same add function 2 times, one by passing 2 parameters and another by passing 3 parameters. So the same function is called, but it is adding the values, but it behaves in different way with the number of parameters which I am passing. So it is called the polymorphism. What it does is it behaves in different way, and it depends on the signature. So also we can have polymorphism with class methods. We can create a for loop, and that can iterate through a tuple of objects. We can call the methods without being concerned about which class type or each object is existing. We can have different classes, and in the different classes we can have the same methods, and depending upon the objects which we create, the functions will be called. So we'll see with an example. So here we have an example. I have created 2 classes. One is class India and another one is class USA. In both the classes, I have the same functions: capital, language and type. So inside India class, I have the capital as New Delhi is the capital of India. And in the language function, I have Hindi is the primary language of India. And the third function type, India is a developing country. But inside the class USA, I have the same function capital, where I have given Washington is the capital of USA. And the language English is the primary language of USA. And in the type I have given USA is a developed. So I have 2 classes, but I have the same functions inside both the classes. So when I create an object called object underscore India using India class, it will call the functions inside the India class. So first I have created object India using India class, and then I have created object USA using USA class, and I have used a for loop for country in object India comma object USA. What it does is object India will be first assigned to country, and then when I say country.capital, the capital function inside the class India will be called, and it will print New Delhi is the capital of India. And then country.language is called. So language inside the country class is called. That is country in the sense the country is having the object India now. So the language inside the object India is called. So now it will print Hindi is the primary language of India. So next, when I call country.type, So the type function which is inside India is called, so it will display India is a developing country. Then after completing this loop, the next thing, that is object underscore ESA, is assigned to country. So now I call country dot capital. So when I call this, so the capital inside USA is called, and it will display Washington DC is the capital of USA. And after that, when I call country dot language, it will call the language function inside USA, and it will print English is the primary language of USA. And when I say country dot type, it will display USA is a developed country. So here we have two different classes, class India and USA, but both the classes have the same function, capital, language, and type. And depending upon the object created, the function will be called based on that. So next we'll see polymorphism in inheritance. So here in inheritance, we'll be having the base class and the derived class. And the base class and the derived class sometimes may have the same function. So in that case, when you are creating an object using the base class, the function inside the base class can be called. But when you are creating a object using the derived class, when both the functions are available, when the same function is available in both the classes, then the function inside the derived class is called by overriding the method inside the base class. So this is called method overriding, or we call this as runtime polymorphism. Okay. So that is said here. In inheritance, the child class inherits the methods from the parent class. So however, to modify the method in the child class that has inherited from the parent class, it is possible. So, and that is called the runtime polymorphism. So to modify the function inside the derived class, we are re-implementing the method. So we can make some changes in the method, even though the same method is present in the base class and in the derived class. In the derived class, we can re-implement the method. So the child class method will be called by overriding the method in the base class. So this is called method overriding. Okay, we'll see with an example. So here we have a class called bird, class sparrow, which is derived from bird, and also we have a class ostrich, which is also derived from bird. We have three classes. So the class bird is a parent class sparrow, and class ostrich are the child class. And I have created an object using all the three classes. So when I create an object using bird class, I'm able to access the intro function and the flight function. And when I create an object using sparrow class, again I am able to access intro function in the base class, and the flight function, it is available both in the parent and the child class. Now it will access only the function in the child class. Okay, this is called method overriding. See here, I have created an object bird using bird class, object sparrow using sparrow class, and object ostrich using ostrich class. So first I am calling the function intro and flight using object bird. So when I use object bird, it is created from the parent class. So the method inside the parent class, that is bird class, intro and flight, will be called, and it will print. There are many types of birds, and most of the birds can fly, but some cannot. So that those two things will be printed. And when I use object sparrow and call the intro function, so object sparrow is created using the child class sparrow. So when I call the intro function, so there is no intro function in the sparrow class, but it is inherited. So it will call the function which is in the base class. So the intro function in the bird class will be called, and it will print there are many types of birds. And after that, I'm calling object underscore sparrow dot flight. See, the flight class is in the base class and also in the derived class. So now it will call only the function which is in the derived class, and it will override the flight class which is in the base class. So it will display only sparrows can fly. That will be displayed. So when I call the intro function using ostrich object, the intro function, it is not available in ostrich class, but it will be calling the intro function which is in the bird class, because it is inherited. So there are many types of birds that will be displayed. And when I call the function flight, which is in ostrich class, when I call this, it will override the flight function which is in the base class, and it will display the ostriches cannot fly, which is available in our ostrich class. Okay. So here, when same methods are available in both the base class and in the derived class, so the method in the derived class is called, and the method in the base class is overridden. Okay, this is called runtime polymorphism. Okay. So thank you for listening about this polymorphism. Thank you.